All right, so we're going to go into the web form integration tab for that. So we're going to go to the branch list, going into my corporate branch. And here, now that I'm inside the branch profile, I'm going to go click on the web form integration tab. All right. So up here at the top, you see the full loan app section. I clicked on that and it minimized all the information for the full loan app. So if you click on this gray bar, that will minimize and you can click on it to open it back up. So if I want to get to the quick app section quickly, I could just minimize this and there's my quick apps section. So I don't have to scroll all the way down, right? So it's just a quick shortcut to get to the quick app here. So if I wanted to start with a quick app section, I'll minimize that. And here we are at the quick app, right? So taking a look at the top right here, what we have are two different iframe codes. And these iframes codes are designed for you to be able to embed the application onto your website. So one has auto scrolling feature, the other one doesn't. It's just a matter of personal preference, which one looks better or which one behaves better on your website. But you have a choice right here to use one or the other. Or you could use the clickable link of the application. So this link allows you to just somebody to click on it and it will open up the application in a new browser tab, right? So this is great if you wanted to, for example, just have an email signature. Maybe you have something that says apply now or a button that says apply now. And they click on it and it just opens up the application in a new browser tab for them, right? So you have that option to use that link. If you wanted to use it in social media as well, you could just use it in the same way, right? So apply now, somebody clicks on that and just takes them straight to your application. Or you have the option to send them to the embedded page on your website. You have those options available to you right here. And then below that, you have the same application, but it's the multi-step version of the application. So this is the same exact application. Instead of it being on one page, it just breaks it out into multiple pages. So it makes it easier to digest for the borrower or somebody filling out your application. So at the very top, you see the iframe code as well if you wanted to embed that application on your website. But this is the clickable link right here. So I'm going to click on that so you can see what the multi-step version of the application looks like. So here it is, multiple steps. So the borrower or applicant can come in here and just start filling this information out. And it's just a short section with a few fields. And then they would click on the next button, right? They would pick their loan program and just start filling this out with some basic information and then click next to go to the next section, right? So maybe I'm just looking for general information, heard about you on Facebook. I click next, and now I go to the next section here, right? So now it's asking for the borrower information, and I would click next and go to the next section. So that's easier to consume when it's a really long application and you have a ton of questions. You know, some people might go to that page and just get overwhelmed with how long it is. So this just makes it easier to consume for the borrower um, as opposed to just having everything on one page like this, right? It's just I select my loan program and now all my questions, all my fields are here on one page. Okay. So this is really helpful for really long applications. The other benefit you have to this is that if you're going the borrower, the applicant's filling this out, and they get to, let's say, the third section here, and they said, you know, I just don't have time to finish this right now. I'm going to have to close this and do this later. The advantage is that the system would have saved everything that they filled out to the last time that they hit the next button. So now when they want to pick it back up, you can just send them an application link from their loan file, and they could just jump right in and start filling out the application from where they left off. All right. So that's very advantageous for like long applications, or more so for full owned app is where people prefer to use that. If you have both modules turned on, you have the real estate, the commercial residential real estate module, you'll see those sections above. And then if you have the business funding module, you'll see those below here. And then underneath that, you have the thank you message here. So the thank you message is the default thank you message that somebody would see after they click on the submit button. You can customize this message. You can change the text. You can add a logo if you wanted to, but you can fully customize this thank you message. There's three options of what you can choose to happen when the borrower clicks the submit button on your application. You can either send them to this default thank you message. The second option is you can send them to any URL of your choice. So some people might create their own custom thank you page on their website, and they might place a video introducing themselves and maybe what kind of next steps to expect, right? Um, and so the third, what another possibility for redirecting is some people like to redirect their applicants to a Calendly page so they can set up an appointment to have a phone call or a Zoom session to discuss the application. So that's another option, right? Just you have the ability to redirect them to any URL of your choice. And then the third option is you can send them to a document upload portal where maybe, okay, so somebody's filling out the Quick app, and maybe there's a couple of documents that you would like to have the borrower upload right after they submit the Quick app. You have the option to do that as well. So if you wanted to redirect them to a URL of your choice instead of using this thank you message, you just have to scroll down a little bit here and you'll see this section right here that says, please type the redirect link or URL. And all you have to do is come in here and type that link right there. Then the system will know to, instead of showing that thank you message above, the system will automatically redirect them to that URL that you've placed in that field right there. Now, if you instead chose that you want to send the applicants to the document upload portal where you want to collect a couple of documents for them, then you would set that up by going into the required docs tab of the branch profile here. So you would just click on required docs at the very top. And this is where we can set that up. And we can set it up per loan program. So let's just say that for fix and flip, I wanted to just collect a couple of documents. Let's say that for the fix and flip, I just wanted to come in here and let's say driver's license. All right. So what I'm going to do is check the box for the driver's license right here underneath the QA column, which means it's for the Quick app right here for what is going to be displayed for the Quick app. So right here, I've checked the box for the driver's license. And now the system knows that for a fix and flip, right? I've selected the fix and flip here. I'm going to be requesting that document, right? And then you can do the same thing for a different, you can select different documents for different loan programs, right? So you have that ability. You just hit the different loan program, jump to that, and start changing the settings for that. All right. If you can leave it for all, hit search, then you're going to see all loan programs here listed here. So that means anything that you set up here will be global for all loan programs. So you'll be collecting these documents for all loan programs. All right. And this section is auto saved. So once you make your selection here, anybody that fills out any of these loan programs will they will see the need to upload these documents. Once they hit the submit button, they'll be taken to the upload portal where you'll be able to collect those one or two or three documents from them that you might need at the Quick app moment. that you need in order to determine eligibility. Okay, so that's the required docs option. Now going back here, we're back in the quick app section. So underneath that thank you message, you have the default primary file status for the quick app. So we're still in the quick app section here. All right. So for the quick app and the full app, you need to select a default primary file status. So normally what we select here is we could select lead, for example, right? So if we select lead for somebody that fills out a quick app, what a lot of people might do is they might select the application started for somebody that fills out a full app, right? And what they might call a completed app is maybe somebody who has not only completed the full application, but also submitted all their documents and all their conditions, right? So that's just how you want to think about how you want to build out your file statuses. Take that into consideration. So automatically, whenever somebody fills out a quick app, we're telling this system here, we want them to go into the lead status in this case, right? And then we're going to set it for the full app section as well. And then you have your terms and conditions section where you can customize what terms and conditions you want to have displayed for the quick app. And then you have a space for Google tracking code and CSS code. So if you need to track conversions, you can do so right there with the Google tracking code. And if you're working with a developer and they're making the application look a certain way with certain colors, they can place that CSS code right there. All right. So now that field right there, that's that last field for redirecting. You choose to redirect the applicant when they click the URL. Now, if we go back up, we're going to see, and we open up the full loan app section, we're going to see the same sections here with the same information, but this is all specific to just the full app. And then we'd come down here, select a different status file, a different file status for somebody that fills out the full app, and we'd make that selection here. And once we're finished making the selections and setting these items up for the quick app and the full app, we'd scroll all the way down to the bottom, and then we'd click save right here, and then you get that confirmation that it was saved successfully. If we scroll down a little bit more, we can see that there's a broker registration application here. So now we're in the broker registration application here. So taking a look at this, if we click on this to open it, this is the clickable link here for the broker registration application. So if we click on that, it's going to open up the broker registration application on a new browser tab. And so if you take a look at this, this allows you to place an application on your website. If you wanted to allow people to come in, any possible referral partners come in, fill this out, and and what this would do once they fill this out is it will automatically create a broker profile inside of your system. So all you would have to do is go into your system. You'd be able to see who are the pending brokers, and you can choose whether you want to work with them or not, right? So that's going to be your internal process, but you'll have them in there as pending, and then you could just choose whether you want to approve them to work with you or not. All right, so you'll see here you can have allow them to upload documents if you wanted to. You can also customize the terms and conditions that you show to them as well. And now when we go back into the back office here, just like the other applications, you'll see at the very top, you have access to some JavaScript codes, two of them, one with auto scrolling, one without auto scrolling. And you can choose either of these if you wanted to embed that broker registration application link, the actual application onto a page of your website, or you have the option to just use the clickable link there as well. And just like with the other applications, you have a thank you message right here. So you can choose whether you want to show these possible referral partners a thank you message here that you can customize and add your logo if you wanted to. Or you can also choose to redirect them to any URL of your choice by placing that URL there. So just like with the other applications, if you wanted to send them to a custom page that you have on your website with a little video introducing yourself and letting them know what your program is about or what's next steps to expect, you can place that URL right there. And this is the space where you can come in here and customize your terms and conditions for the broker registration application. All right. Let's see. All right. Looks like we answered the questions for Marley and Lexus. So now this final section here, the web form settings question, this allows you to place a question on your application asking borrowers how they heard about you. All right, so this will be off on default back offices, but if you want to use it, you just come in here and click it to the on position. All right, so you just come over here, click on yes. I already have entries here. What you would normally see there is not a list of options, right? But basically what this is it's going to allow you to create that question, how did they hear about you? And it's basically a drop-down menu. So you get to create a drop-down menu of options that a borrower can choose from, right? So you just come in here and click this green plus, and that will allow you to start building out your list. So I already have some options here. I have Facebook, Google, LinkedIn, local events, and other, right? But if I wanted to add another option here, maybe I click this green plus right here. And I want to add another option. Let's say I want to put Instagram. All right. And what order I want to put this in. Let's say I want to put this in order number 5. I would say save. It would say updated successfully here. But of course, when you come in here and you do this for the first time, you're just going to be doing this from the first item here. So it moved it to number 6 because I already have a 5 here. So I could just reorder this. I could set this as 7, and then it will move it down below once it's updated. So now inside your back office, on your application, you're actually, if you go to your application, let's go to the quick app right here. Right here. So at the very top here, you've got the question asking what loan program, right? Where are you in the process? But then I have this question, how did you hear about us? So this is the drop-down options that are shown there. All right, so the borrower can come in here and select one of the options, and that's going to help keep track of your different marketing channels or sales channels, or just a good way to find out how people are hearing about you. All right. So that is the web form settings for that. Now, in your back office, if you are entering in a loan on behalf of your borrower, maybe your borrower's not filling that out. If you go into the loan file, we go to the admin tab. This finishes loading. Click on admin. Click on lead source, and we see those options right there. And now we see the new option for Instagram that we just added, right? And then we would just click save to save that. All right, so that's how you can keep track of how people heard about you.